Visibilium omnium et invisibilium. Simul adorator et conglorificator, qui locutus est per prophetas. Amen.
What would you like?
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. But I've no time for idle chat. I transcribe books from dawn till dusk. I've been doing it for years, and I'll be doing it till...
What, you do nothing else?
It is my penance and my blessing. Praise be to Christ.
I'd like to ask about...
Can't you see I'm working?
The forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
Contains forbidden books.
Someone really reeked at Matins. You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there, and it's not the first time. It's a mystery, but one that'll be soon solved. It's a wonder the prior doesn't check everyone's breath in the morning. Then he'd soon get his
Praise be to...
I'd like to ask... Can you tell me something...
7 centuries ago, Saint Benedict of Nursia, the fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're.
Do you never want to know what's going on?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue, and the grass is just as green.
Who's in charge of?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him.
And what happens when the old abbot...
Then we'll...
Are there any
Yes, there are. Brothers John and Nevlas. On one side are brothers who'd like to see John as abbot. On...
I thought
You're right, but we know nothing besides the monastery, and the abbot's decisions can influence our...
Why does it matter?
Because the future direction of the monastery hangs in the balance. The younger brothers feel they have to work more than their superior brothers, and that some brothers are more concerned with their own. The older brothers take a different view. They say the younger monks want privileges they haven't.
I'd like to know about...
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He doesn't have the most experience, although perhaps he's too keen to change our route.
Tell me about...
John is a surcator, and the oldest brother here. It would be only natural if he took the crosier from Peter.
Tell me some...
Prayer? Work?
Are there ever any...
Unfortunately, yes.
Tell me...
The old abbot is practically on his deathbed. There are two candidates. Half the monastery wants...
I'm interested in the monastery...
It was founded by Saint Procopius 500 years ago. After his death,
Heretics?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals.
What are the roles of...
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here. As a novice, you should be particularly mindful of the surcators.
What can you tell me?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion.
I meant something specific.
But you know them yourself. Yodok is an odd one, but he's... Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you.
Can you leave the monastery?
Where would you go? You have everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are closed and locked tight, so no one can get in.
Who would you like to...
Definitely Nevlas, although he's young.
Who would you...
Definitely...
My name's Gregor.
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to Purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but...
Are you hiding something?
I'm hiding a lousy past. I hate to think of all I lost when... And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing. If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it.
They must have really...
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the...
Indeed, sir.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver.
That's all I wanted.
Please, keep it to yourself.
I'm still curious about this treasure trove of yours.
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others...
I'll leave you be.
Thank you.
I'm still curious.
It's no big...
I'll tell the abbot.
What? A man pours his heart out to you when you play Judas. How about this? What is it?
I'm still...
It's no big...
I'll leave you be.
Thank you.
How is it that you don't...
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye. And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time.
I'd be interested... Tell me about Antonius.
Oh, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with, of course, the exception of myself, it would be Antonius.
That's all. There's something I should tell you. I'm here to find someone, and, well, to do away with him. But listen, it's not murder, not when it's a man like him. He's one of the brigands who...
What's he doing here?
They call him Pius because he used to be a priest. When he found out a lot of people were after him, he hid away. They sent me here to find him and bring him to...
So we have one outlaw and one assassin in our midst.
Well, that's just... No, but I hope I'll track him.
I swear I don't know anything.
I won't tell you more, and I'd like you to...
You're talking about killing in the
Today's food. What do they do in that?
Would you do that? I have a...
You're right. I'll keep it to myself. I've got problems enough of my own without involving myself.
Thank you, Siskin.
Remember back when we ate like kings? And the wine. Those were the days. You'll see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
Greetings, brother.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest...
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the Order.
I'm interested in the... What can you tell me about Siskin?
Oh, he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already.
Sounds like you don't...
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor, he's hiding something from us. In fact, now I come to think of it...
Do you know anything about...
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is... He's always happy to help, which...
Can you tell me something?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say.
Why did you join...
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here.
Finishing what they don't.
Did you have to finish someone's week?
I'm interested...
Yet again.
What can you tell...
I've had enough.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Peace be with you, brother.
You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there. And it's not the first time. It's a mystery, but one that'll be...
Talk to me, brother.
I'd be interested... What about your...
Be on good terms with him. He's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate, I imagine he'll want to climb his way up the...
What can you tell me?
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic life than him.
You don't know young Lord...
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him. Fighting, drinking, fornicating. But then he...
Why is he in the
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding.
Do you think he has a seat?
Don't we all? But unlike the other...
That's all I wanted. That's all. I'm Gregor.
I know. It was...
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's...
I mean, where you're from. What?
I'm a novice, and my...
Come on.
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. What has been isn't important for us.
It's a mystery.
I'd like to know...
I don't...
It's a wonder the prior doesn't...
What can you tell me about...
Not a lot. I don't know him.
You really don't know anything about anyone?
Don't get upset.
I'd like to know...
I don't...
Do you know anything about...
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very...
Tell me about...
I'd like to, but...
What can you tell me?
Not a lot.
Will you tell...
I
mean, where...
I'm an...
You see, I'm looking...
You're looking for some...
I am a novice.
Why would you be looking amongst monks? You know the law...
I'm looking for a footpad who's high...
I heard some...
Because you could help me.
That can't be.
Talk to him. Do you have any idea which...
I don't know, and I don't...
Praise be to...
I'm interested...
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps...
Do you have any grounds?
Quite a lot. And also none at all.
What troubles you?
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the lot?
Only the abbot.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and are only...
I'd like to ask you something. I found this piece of parchment.
Hmm.
Ovid,
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a... If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid...
Can you tell me something?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much.
Oh, would you like me...
Absolutely. Eustace's wits, I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return.
Good.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great...
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The...
Slow down, brother.
He said the new cask is ready, but he was as nervous as a nun in a bathhouse, like he doesn't want to fetch any more.
Oh, he'll do it. Just as soon as... You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You wouldn't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. Quite right, brother. Just sit down and drink with us. When the wine runs out, Yorick will fetch more. I'll say one thing, brother. This wine would grace the Pope's table.
I'm not so sure. It's a bit sour. God knows what's in it.
Don't be absurd. It's a first-class cask, direct from Znojmo.
No, I know the taste of a good vintage, and this isn't it. I bet you that wretch Yorick got the casks mixed up.
Nonsense, it's perfectly drinkable.
No, it isn't. It's sour. No matter. We'll get more soon. So, good health.
Good health.
Praise be to Christ.
What are you doing?
What does it look?
But...
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
But you're the cicators. You're the ones meant to be...
If you really want to know...
All right.
Talk to me, brother.
You mentioned you...
Well, nothing much. He's just a little suckling like you. He'll do whatever it takes to stay on our good side. Sometimes we make use of him when there are...
Where'd you get the wine from?
So they are. But this wine isn't... Listen, lad, would you help us out with something? This cask is almost...
I'll help you.
Ha! I knew it. Help Novice Yorick arrange for a new cask. Talk.
All right. Let's drink.
That's the idea.
How about to the abbot?
To the abbot it is. But...
To Peter.
So, to Peter. He's done so much for us, but...
Let's drink.
That's the...
How about to the...
To the abbot it is.
To Neville.
To Nevlas? To the abbot he's never been and never shall be? No, lad.
Let's play.
Just the man with...
Ah, down the hatch.
Every gulp a treat, isn't that the truth?
No wonder. With our throats going dry all day.
Next time we'll get the Yorick to bring some Rhine wine. I'm losing my taste for this one.
Why doesn't Yodak drink with us, anyway?
He's young, and he wants to look good in front of the others. And he doesn't trust us to keep him safe from harm.
Why are you waking me? Go away.
Ah, down the hatch.
Every gulp of truth.
No wonder. With our throats going dry all day.
Next time we'll get the Yorick to bring some rye wine.
Why doesn't Yorick drink with us?
He's young. He wants to look good in front of the others. And he doesn't trust us to keep him safe from harm if he got too drunk to make it to Brad.
You mean like your good self last Christmas Day? The way you drowned out that prize voice by snoring through the Agnes Day?
Don't remind me.
Talk to me.
I'm looking for something.
And what?
I'm looking for...
Lock pick?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat.
Let's have a word about...
Well,
Is this...
that's... Aye.
What do we have here? A nice sharp dagger. Now what would a monk need that for?
me be. I want to sleep.
What have we here? It looks like a book with the names of all the novices.
Interesting. But I still don't know which one of them is pious.
What's that you're carrying around?
Where did you get it?
And why?
Peace be with you, brother.
Can't you see? We're...
I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor. I don't know my way up.
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but... How do you like it?
I don't know yet.
Well, you're too humble. I'm sure...
I'd like to...
As this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words. expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering Saint Heli, the priest of Silence, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, "The fool is not corrected with words." And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
What do you desire?
I've read the abbot's book. It says in...
You broke into the abbot's...
I wasn't interested in your opinion about what I did. What interest...
I'm not going to tell you anything.
Just try it, and I'll smack you so hard your feet won't touch the ground.
No, don't hit me.
I was talking last night with the brother Cicators.
Well...
I'd like to help you.
Would you really do it? To get hold of the wine, we'll have to leave the monastery for a bit. I know it's forbidden, but we've no other option. If wine started going missing here, someone would notice. But to leave the monastery, we need the keys.
Wait a moment. Are you saying I'm supposed to...
You see why I don't want to do it myself now, do you?
But you've done it once before.
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the Circator's care.
How can I get...
I don't know, but it might be possible to do this without them.
Do you think he'll want to take...
No, but he could give some advice, or maybe get... Once you have the key or some lockpicks...
About those...
Did you get...
Yes, I have them.
In that case, come before midnight to the cloister garden. I'll be waiting for you there.
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
Talk to me, bro.
Ah, great.
I have all the pages of the torn up book. The Art of Love.
Oh, brother, you can't even imagine how happy you've made me. I'll lend you the key to the cabinet containing forbidden books. That cabinet's strictly off limits to novices, but you've earned my trust.
Thank you, brother. Is there anything
I'm glad you asked. There's one but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall.
Ovid?
Not what? Now I believe I can guess if he'd had his way.
Praise be.
I'd like.
Get away from our cabinet. The books stood in there aren't for your eyes to see. Get away from our cabinet. The books stood in there aren't for your eyes.
I'm telling you, someone's been creeping around in the corridor at night. What am I saying, creeping? He was stomping about like a bear.
It must have been Brother Cicada. He can't sleep. He prays long into the night.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery?
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery?
was that?
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery? Brother, what are you doing here?
I definitely.
Really? Fine then. This time
I'm Gregor, and
I know. I saw you in the church during.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes.
When it's not.
Then we're author.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery, but in reality I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church.
Is there anything?
You know, there is. I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could...
You can count on my help.
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library. But it will certainly...
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practice. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since...
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. No one will notice if one book disappears.
Is there anything?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian...
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the... They say Brother Solarius understands locks. But don't tell him why. We'll soon have the election.
Here's the book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive... Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know... They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book. But you'll never get your...
Thanks.
No, thank you. About that book. Don't...
I'd like to ask... I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. Today's task, once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby.
Ah, this looks like the Saracen language. Ib al-Hassan. That's who I'm looking for. Avicenna.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Peace be with you.